What is up everybody, it is me DevilNeverCry, and in this video I bring you a holiday special. We're of course talking about Vergil in DMC5. Before we begin, make sure you're subscribed to stay up to date with anything and everything DMC, and with that out of the way, let's just dive right into what this conundrum exactly is, considering that Vergil is again playable in DMC5. So to understand what exactly this is, we have to go back to a video I made back in, I want to say August of this year. That's probably wrong, but in that video we kind of went over a debug version of Vergil. It was janky, it was weird, it wasn't really fully playable, but it was playable Vergil nonetheless. And this is somewhat of an update to that, where Vergil is more sort of fleshed out in his animations and his moveset. You can jump, you can attack, there's like different sort of mechanics going on, and I kind of want to dive into them in this video. So in this video you'll probably see two bits of gameplay. One, you're going to see Vergil in Mission 2, and the other one is going to be Vergil in the Void mode. Because in this mod or this update, you can play as Vergil in different modes. So obviously you can play him in missions. You can now also play him in the Void, and I believe in the Bloody Palace, so to speak. Which you couldn't do that before, so you're able to sort of dive right in. So let's just go over Vergil in his current state at the moment. So you've obviously got the triangle button or the melee button mapped to the YAMATO, so you can attack. Vergil's got his pause combos from DMC4, and you can use your command inputs forward, and lock on for the stinger motion, and you'll get the streak move, so to speak. Forgive me if I've forgotten the names of the actual official moves. It's been a long time since I've played Vergil in any capacity in DMC 3 or 4. Then of course you've got back and lock on, that is the high time-esque move. But I can't seem to find anything with any of the caliber or shuffle inputs, both on the floor and on the ground. So make of that what you will. I don't believe he had any actual inputs like that in previous games, so not really a surprise. But then he's got the DMC4-esque thing where if you hold down the streak, Vergil will sort of cancel that or combo that into a launcher. And Vergil's got his aerial combos here. He's got the roulette spin, he's got the simple 3-hit combo, and then he's obviously got the split move, which you can see. And that kind of covers it for the YAMATO actually. There are no summon swords unfortunately to any of the buttons I could find. None of the buttons essentially fired off any ranged attacks, which was strange. One of the cool things they did kind of bring back from DMC4 is the melee button being tied directly to the judgment cut. So at the end of any animation, if you press and hold the melee button, Vergil will let go of a judgment cut after you let go of that button, as long as you've held it for a certain amount of time. If you get the timing exactly pin perfect or frame perfect and you let go, you'll get a just judgment cut, which I believe does slightly more damage. The animation is quicker and there's less recovery frames, and it's cool. That's kind of what you want to aim for. Again, unfortunately, after a little bit of testing here, I wasn't actually able to find a just cut, so to speak. I don't know if just because I suck or if they just haven't included it, because again, before anybody goes into the comments and starts spamming, this is not meant to be a fully playable Vergil. This is a debug janky ass mode. The people that made this mod kind of just wanted to iterate on the previous one a little bit. It's not meant to be amazing. So I believe it's just meant to be a side project, which is pretty cool. It's given us a chance to do what so many people have wanted to do, which is get their hands on Vergil in DMC5, which if you have a PC you can, in this broken state. But yeah, don't get your hopes up if you're on console, unfortunately, people. But getting back to Vergil and his mechanics, so obviously we went over the DMC4-esque judgment cut system, which is pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. We also have some sort of concentration mechanic, which in this game, well, considering Vergil has no HUD, it seems to manifest itself as some sort of like snow, or some sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, some sort of floaty bits in the air, so to speak, putting it in a very blunt way. And I'm not going to lie, they are fairly annoying. They seem to just crowd the screen at random times, from what I've seen. and it makes things hard to see because it obscures a substantial amount of the screen. I'd imagine that this is, again, maybe some sort of aspect that they wanted to build into the boss fight, or maybe some sort of early beta Playable Vergil. It looks horrible. It's cool though that they've brought back this concentration mechanic, or the motivation bar as many of you called it. And it seems that, you know, if and when Capcom decide to go for DLC or a special edition, which for those of you who follow the channel know that I think they're probably going to go for a special edition over DLC, because the console, or the new consoles, are right around the corner, and you know how Capcom like to chime in with their re-releases. But enough of that. I'd imagine that, you know, they're kind of thinking about ways to build upon Vergil and his gameplay if and when that new content drops. And it's cool to see that they're taking so much from obviously DMC4 and DMC3. Getting back to actually the moveset, we're not done. We've got the style button, which is solely tied to Vergil's trick moves, teleports. He can trick forwards and trick backwards. He can trick up as long as you're stationary. I haven't found a way to like trick down or, you know, trick up to an enemy, which is understandable. Again, this isn't a finished character before anybody starts screaming or throwing hate my way. But I think it's interesting nonetheless that, you know, he's seemingly, considering that this is all taken from his boss fight, all these animations and such, I find it kind of astounding that he actually plays this well. You know, you're actually able to competently fight. Obviously not to the degree that you'd be able to with Dante or Nero, and V's kind of, you know, so-and-so. That's debatable. But yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. I mean, obviously DMC3 Vergil and Special Edition, that playable mode was taken directly from his boss animations and such. So obviously it makes sense that you'd be able to do the same in DMC5. Obviously it needs more polish, but it is a working playable version of Vergil. But getting back to the topic of DLC and what I think is going to happen. You know, the majority of people have been asking for some sort of Vergil DLC or Special Edition. Capcom know this, I'd imagine. They've seen the absolute demand. These things take time, obviously, to develop. If it's not already in development now, I'd imagine it probably is. So yeah, we kind of just have to sit tight and wait, which unfortunately is all we can do at the moment. But there's plenty of DMC things to keep us busy. As always, if you are on PC, do be sure to check out the mods. I'll leave a link in the description to this mod so you can download it. There's also the Visions of V manga, which, you know, details or chronicles V's sort of upbringing into this world, so to speak, and gives us an insight into Vergil and his character. So do check that out if you haven't already and are in need of some DMC content. But one thing I kind of want to go over is with the prospects of DLC or special editions, like what exactly is Vergil going to be using to fight? You know, he's got the YAMATO, or the YAMATO, however you want to pronounce that word, which is a staple of his moveset. And then Vergil always had some sort of gauntlet and greave sort of combat. You know, he had the Beowulf in DMC 3 and 4, despite it not making sense him having it in 4. Makes no sense. Capcom gonna Capcom. But he doesn't have that in DMC 5 because obviously Beowulf was taken from him. Some people might suggest that it might be Balrog going off a statue or figurine that is being made, I believe, or it's making its rounds on Twitter, which shows Vergil using Balrog whilst in his DMC3 attire and hairstyle, which doesn't really make sense, so I'm not going to put a lot of weight to that. But then you also have to remember the Force Edge is no longer there, you know. Dante's got the Force Edge in the form of Sparda, and Sparda was obviously merged with, I think, the Broken Rebellion to make Devil Sword Dante. So no Force Edge for Vergil either, so what the hell is he going to use? Lo and behold, one of the popular theories at the moment is that the DLC is going to take place in Hell along with Dante and Vergil, where they fight their way out after the events of DMC 5, which, you know, would make for a pretty cool premise, if not for the fact that Vergil currently has a dimension portal making tool on his belt in the form of YAMATO. He can just open up a door to wherever he wants. He doesn't have to actually fight his way out of Hell, but nonetheless that is a plot hole that would probably ruin many a theory. Regardless, I'm going to kind of leave this video off here. I just kind of wanted to make this video, obviously saying happy holidays to everybody. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas, of course. By the time you see this, Christmas will be over. But yeah, with all that said and done, people, It has been me, DevilNeverCry. I would like to thank each and every one of you for watching, and as always, I will see you all next video.